wrapped up in this pretty cozy and delicious bacon blanket. Hi everyone, this is Helen and welcome to Modern Pepper. So Thanksgiving is right around the corner. I wanted to share one of my favorite recipes for making turkey, especially for Thanksgiving. It's not your traditional turkey recipe where you are roasting the entire bird. I mean, I love doing that too. And my other favorite way to make the entire turkey is I like to brine it for 24 hours in this special miso soy sauce brine, and then I smoke it. I smoke my turkey bird for 12 hours at this really low temperature, and it is so good. But it's very time consuming. So my go-to Thanksgiving turkey recipe is turkey rollatini. So basically you take your turkey breast, get the biggest breast you can find from your butcher, we butterfly it, we flatten it, and then we stuff it with really yummy kimchi and GoChuJang and all different seasonings, and you roll it up and then you cover it with bacon blanket. Yes, we're gonna weave our bacon strips and turn it into bacon blanket that we're gonna wrap our turkey rollatini in and put it in the oven. Literally, I would either have it smoked or I would have turkey rollatini. And this Thanksgiving, I'm gonna opt for the easier but yet super delicious turkey rollatini stuffed with kimchi, bacon, and GoChuJang. So yum. So I'm so excited to share this recipe with you, and I hope you try this at home because you don't have to cook the entire turkey bird. You could just take the delicious turkey breast and turn it into a gourmet turkey Thanksgiving entree that your guests and your family will totally love, because we're going to use GoChuJang and kimchi and bacon. I mean, those three things, doesn't it already sound so delicious? I'm gulping in my mouth. So first we're gonna start with weaving our bacon blanket. Have you ever had anything where it's wrapped in bacon blanket? So yum. The first thing you need is a big sheet of baking sheet. So you need some bacon. It has to be thick cut only. And I'm using Applewood smoked bacon. Oh, it smells so good already. So take 6 strips of bacon, lay it down flat like so, and then we're gonna lift the second, fourth, and the last, and take the other strip of bacon and lay it down like that, and push it down like that. And then we're gonna lift this one and this one and this one like so, and then take our second strip of bacon and lay it down, and then lay this down and lay this down. Okay, and we're just gonna continue doing this. Here we go, we're almost to the end. I'm gonna lay this down, lay this down, lay this down. And we're gonna add one more. So that took literally less than 2 minutes to weave our bacon blanket. Look how pretty this looks. So what we're gonna do next is we're gonna just gently roll this up like so, and then we're gonna store this in the refrigerator so it stays nice and firm, so that when we go to roll it, it'll be easy to handle. So ask your local butcher to save you the biggest breast that he could find for you, and mine's about 2.5 pounds. So we're gonna butterfly this. So it's very important to also sharpen your knife. All right, now it's ready. So find the part of the breast that's most intact. So this side, it's kind of like separating. So I'm gonna pick this side to keep this part as our center. Take the side that's kind of separating, and I'm gonna take my knife and just butterfly it down the middle. Now be sure to not go all the way through, of course. And you could do so by just splitting it now a little bit, and then go down the middle a little bit more, like that. And what I'm gonna do next is take the middle part like that, and just use your hand to keep the meat firm in place. And I'm gonna butterfly it, opening it this way. And it doesn't really have to be even right now because we're gonna even it all out with a meat tenderizer. So here we go. And we're gonna do the same on this side. Find the fattest part. This side is fine, it's already kind of thinning out, but this side was fatter. So I butterflied again this side, but this side we're gonna leave as is. And then you need a big sheet of saran wrap, this big. Using the smooth part of your meat tenderizer, so we're just gonna do our best to just level it out and even it as much as we can. So be gentle. And just take a look, it's a lot flatter. This side is definitely evened out. And maybe this side over here needs a little bit more flattening. Okay, it looks about done. It looks pretty level to me now. And it doesn't have to be a perfect rectangular shape because we're gonna roll it all up and then tie it up. So this took all of literally less than 2 minutes to flatten out, and then butterflying it was really easy. But if you don't feel comfortable butterflying this, tell your local butcher that you need a large piece of turkey breast and that you would like it butterflied and flattened out as thin as you could go in one piece so that you could stuff it and roll it. They'll understand what you're trying to do. So they could actually do this for you too. Just remember to tip them well. Now, in addition to stuffing our turkey rollatini with really yummy kimchi, we're gonna saute some leek to add with it, and it's gonna be so good. For those of you who've never seen a leek before, it's basically a ginormous version of your green onion or scallion. We're gonna need about 2 cups of finely chopped leek. So we're gonna first start with cutting the end off like so, and then we're gonna cut it down the middle. Wow, that smells really, really sweet. Not sugary sweet, but the sweetness of like really yummy green onion. Boy, oh boy, this smells good. So it looks like this. We're only gonna use half of this. When you clean this, make sure to clean in between each layer because as you can see, there's some soil that's stuck in between, and that's okay, but just rinse it out well. And what you wanna do is just cut it down the middle. So I'm just gonna go across and just slice it thin. And just continue cutting the rest. Now the other ingredients that you need is 1 fresh clove of garlic and some shallots. Cut the root end off like so. Take your knife flat down and just make a fist and strike it down like that. And look, the skin just comes off so easy. Just gonna finely mince this. There we go. And we need about a tablespoon of finely minced shallot. So I would just take half of this and just mince it really thin. We also need some fresh thyme, just about 2 sprigs. I love the smell of fresh thyme. I mean, it just goes so well with leeks. And then we need 1 strip of bacon. You know, because a little bit of bacon fat goes a long way when we braise and saute our leek. So we're just gonna finely chop them. And for those of you who are not fans of bacon, you could skip this part. I mean, don't add any bacon to it. And of course, you could substitute pancetta. That would be a nice upgrade if you want to kind of, you know, make it a little bit fancy. Or you could use, of course, turkey bacon as well. And then we need half a cup of heavy cream, and we need about half a cup of Parmigiano Reggiano, and you need a microplane to freshly grate this. And we also need a half a cup of chicken broth. Make sure to preheat your pan so it's hot, and we're gonna add 1 tablespoon of olive oil. My heat is at high right now, and then I'm gonna add my bacon. My pan's smoking really nice. Let that sizzle. Now I'm gonna lower my heat to medium and add our garlic and shallots. Let that sizzle for 60 seconds. Oh, it smells so good in here already. And then I'm gonna add our leek. I'm gonna add a few pinches of salt. About 3 pinches of salt and some freshly ground black pepper. About 10 turns on your pepper mill. And let that saute. Oh, look at the leeks changing color. It looks so pretty already. Oh, yum. So on medium heat, let this kind of hang out for about a good minute or 2 until the leeks look a little translucent or sweaty looking. Oh, our leeks look so beautiful. Look at that. And it smells so good in here. Oh boy. So the leeks look very translucent and sweaty, and then we can see a little bit of brown marks on our leeks, and that's what we're looking for. I'm gonna turn my heat back up to high. I have a half a cup of hot chicken broth. Do not add cold broth to this pan. We want our broth to be piping hot, like as you can see, and then add it in here. And you should hear that sizzling sound. If you're not hearing that sizzling sound, then your broth was not hot enough. We're gonna lower the heat, and then we're gonna put our lid on and let this simmer for 5 minutes, and we'll come back to it. All right, it's been 5 minutes. Let's take a look. Oh, look at that. Our leek has been braising really nice. I'm gonna turn my heat back up high. I have 2 sprigs of thyme that we're just gonna put in here, just to leave part like that. Here's our second one. And here's our half a cup of heavy cream. Oh, the thyme already smells so good together. We're just gonna keep this on the pan for about 2-3 minutes until it gets kind of thick. I'm gonna turn down my heat now because look how thick our leek looks now. So it's been about like on super high heat for less than 2 minutes, and it's super thick, and this is the consistency we're looking for, this thickness. And it's time to taste. Bacon with leeks and heavy cream. Sounds pretty delicious to me already. All right. Oh, it's so yummy. The bacon fat, the heavy cream. There's a little bit of that hint from the fresh thyme all together. It's such a great combination. It's gonna be so good with our turkey and GoChuJang and kimchi and bacon. It's gonna be a good Thanksgiving turkey dish. So we're gonna take our braised leek and quickly transfer it to a mixing bowl. Oh, this smells so good. Oh, this smells so good. I could just eat this. Because it's the holiday seasons, we're just gonna take it up a notch, right? So we're gonna take some Parmesan cheese. I'm gonna add about a half a cup of freshly grated Parmesan Reggiano cheese. All right, and we're just gonna mix this well. Ooh. So we just mixed our freshly grated Parmesan Reggiano cheese, and let's have a quick taste. I mean, it was already good straight from the pan when we tasted it earlier, but with the cheese now, really on another level of super yumminess. This would be a perfect appetizer spread that you could put out and serve with toasted sliced baguette. Super, super yum. You could also make this the day before, so you don't have to do everything on the day of Thanksgiving, because we all know how hectic Thanksgiving could be. So I also want to let everyone know, this goes for all of my video recipes. A detailed list of all the ingredients along with written recipe instructions as well as suggested kitchen gadgets for this recipe will be available at modernpepper.com. Please make sure to check out the description box below, and I will have a link for this blog that you could check out. And I wanted to make a quick announcement that next week I will be making Soju cocktail using Persimmons. Yes, persimmons are so in season right now. Persimmons in Korean is called kam. It's also a great way to make a really yummy soju cocktail that is super easy, because I am not a mixologist and I am all about if I can make it quickly and fast so that I could drink it and also so that I could share with my friends. So make sure to subscribe, which is that pink button that you see here at the corner right there. Click on that so you can subscribe to my channel so that we can make our persimmon soju cocktail together. I mean, it's really perfect timing for a Thanksgiving meal as well as enjoying it for our holiday season. I mean, it's basically cocktail and eating time for the next 2 months, right? So we also need some butcher's twine. So we're gonna cut them into about 1 foot long. We need 4 pieces. We might use 3 or 4, it depends. And here's our 4th one. So we're gonna just put this to the side. Now we also need a tablespoon of GoChuJang and 2 tablespoons of butter. Now, some of you are like, what? Gochu what? It's called GoChuJang, and phonetically I'm going to make it easy for you to pronounce. GoChuJang is like the word go, chew like chewing, CHEW, jang. So it's GoChuJang, GoChuJang. And basically, gochujang is Korean red pepper paste that's been fermented. It is a staple ingredient in Korean cooking. So make sure to get one of these and store it in your refrigerator so we could use it to make loads of Korean dishes. And I also like to use gochujang to make salad dressings too. Yep, it's really good. So gochujang, you could also have it straight out of the container. But there's so many ways to sort of resuscitate this with different ingredients to make it more really light and refreshing and velvety. Gochujang is not as spicy, or it doesn't have that like really sharp spicy taste that you would get from like sriracha. And I love sriracha too for that really like strong like bite of spiciness that you get. But gochujang is not like that. Gochujang is spicy, but it's a very subtle, it has so much depth of flavor. It's very velvety at the same time too. Sometimes when I don't want to cook, I would literally get a bowl of rice, some gochujang, and drizzle some sesame oil and maybe throw on a scrambled egg and mix it up. And there's my happy meal in a bowl. I love this, just in case it didn't come across. Anyway, so bring your butter to room temperature so it's easy to mix. And we're just gonna mix these two together. I mean, gochujang and butter, wow, doesn't that sound already decadent to begin with? Jeez. You know what's really calling me right now? A steaming hot bowl of rice. I could just put a dollop of this like butter and gochujang together and just mix it up. Oh my God, and like a few pieces of toasted seaweed or Korean kim. Oh. So good. Oh, look at the color. Look at that. It's so pretty. I think it's so important to taste what you're making. And not because I love gochujang and butter, but I will taste it and make sure it's good. I mean, somebody has to, right? So let's have a quick taste. Here we go. Wow. This is so good. I think I could just call it a day, just having this with a bowl of rice. Wow, this is so good. I hope you try this at home. And when you do, let me know what you think. Drop me a line or two in the comment box. I would love to hear from you. Butter and gochujang, oh geez. This is marriage made in heaven. So here's our turkey breast that we pounded earlier so that it's kind of leveled out and flat. This is the inside of the breast. We're gonna turn this over and flatten it. And when you make this, it's okay if some parts of the breast kind of falls apart or rips apart, or if there's a hole in it, it's okay because we're gonna roll it all up so it'll be all good. This is the skin side of the turkey breast. So we're gonna put our seasoning on this side first and then turn it over. Okay, so first I'm gonna start with some salt. Just sprinkle some salt on top, not too much. Just enough to see some of the salt flakes all over the flesh. And then some black pepper. Like so, and then some garlic powder. Not a lot, just a little bit. And then our gochujang and butter spread. Oof. Just put some in sections like so. And it doesn't have to be perfectly evenly spread out because it's all going to be rolled up, and then eventually everything's going to kind of melt. Spread it evenly as possible. Here's the bacon blanket that we made earlier. We're just gonna unroll it like so. Ooh, it's so pretty. Our bacon blanket is nice and firm, so it'll be easy to roll. So what we're gonna do next is take some fresh sage leaves. In my opinion, sage leaves with bacon and turkey is like a perfect combination. So I'm gonna put about 6 to 8 fresh sage leaves like so. And then we're gonna pick up our turkey. The part where we just put the gochujang butter spread, we're just gonna lay it on top like so. And it's okay if the turkey breast is slightly wider than our bacon blanket, that's okay. And then we're gonna season this side. Spread it as evenly as possible though, if you can. The star ingredient next to our turkey is our kimchi. I'm using pogi kimchi. Basically, they come intact, the leaves are not cut. So it's ideal if you could use that, but you could also use the pre-cut kimchi as well. Now, what's more important is that your kimchi is fermented well. So if you have not watched my video on how to ferment and store your store-bought kimchi when you bring it home, make sure to check out that video, because you really want to put kimchi in here that is like perfectly ripe, that it's so good on its own. You don't want to put any kimchi that's too new or too old, that it's like vinegary. For our dish, we want kimchi that is perfectly fermented and it's at the height of its like ripeness with the perfect fermentation that draws out all the yummy natural sugary taste from our cabbage and is perfectly crunchy. That's what we want to use for our turkey rollatini. So I am putting out my disposable kitchen glove. So as a mom, I wash my hands a lot, so I really try to go out of my way to protect my hands, especially when I'm cooking. So I love using these disposable kitchen gloves. So if you're interested in it, make sure to check out my blog at modernpepper.com or the description box below. We're gonna take our kimchi, put it on top like so. This one I'm gonna split it in half so we have evenness of crunchiness on both sides, like so. And then we're gonna take our leek and then just put it on top. Here we go. What I'm gonna do is just start from the top here, pick up our bacon blanket and just lift it up, sort of like you're rolling a burrito or a sushi roll, and just go slow, okay? Like so. It's rolled up. This is when we're going to take our twine and go under. One in the middle, right here. And our last one right here. And then cut off the excess. And it's done. So I have a baking pan here with a rack. I'm gonna pick up our rollatini carefully. It's like a baby, and then place it right here in the center. And then what I have is 2 small pieces of onion, and what I'm gonna do is stuff it here at the end, like so, to prevent our delicious leek from oozing out. We want the leek to stay inside and not lose all that yumminess. So it's important to preheat your oven to 400 degrees. So let's get our turkey rollatini in our oven. So if you don't have a roasting rack, you could use this tip. This is super long, but you want it so that the width is 3 times the length of your baking sheet. And what you want to do is bunch it all up, scrunch it up like so. And then what you want to do is like curve it into a shape of like a snake. You could place this in the interior of your roasting pan. This is where the turkey rollatini could rest on it. This is your makeshift roasting rack that you could put together with your aluminum foil at home. Take our turkey rollatini and then slide it right here, middle shelf, 400 degrees. We're gonna come back to in 15 minutes because right now we want just the bacon to start sizzling. So while our turkey rollatini is in the oven, we're gonna make some gravy for our turkey rollatini. But it is not your traditional gravy in that we're going to be using Korean ingredients as well as non-Korean ingredients. To make our gravy, you need 3 cups of chicken broth, 1 tablespoon of butter, half a tablespoon of soy sauce, half a tablespoon of miso paste, 1 tablespoon of cornstarch, 2 tablespoons of water, 1/4 cup of heavy cream. We also need 1 clove of garlic finely minced, a tablespoon of finely minced shallots, 2 sprigs of fresh thyme, and some chili threads. In Korean, these are called GoChuJang. It really has a subtle spicy taste and it looks so pretty just floating around in your gravy. So let's get started. Make sure to preheat your saucepan. I'm gonna add a tablespoon of olive oil. My heat is at high right now. I'm gonna add the shallots and the garlic, 2 pinches of salt, some black pepper, about 10 turns on your pepper mill. And I'm gonna tilt my pan like so and just saute it lightly. So the reason for tilting my pan like this is to prevent the onion and the garlic from burning. You just want to do this until the shallot and the garlic has turned kind of soft and translucent with a little bit of brown marks like that. And it's been about 60 seconds and it's ready. We're going to lay this flat. We're going to add 3 cups of chicken broth. Ooh. So that's how hot your saucepan should be. Keep it on super high heat and let it cook and bubble over until the broth has reduced by 2/3. All right, so it's been about good 3 minutes. Our stock has reduced. We're gonna add our miso paste. We're gonna add our soy sauce. Whisk that well. It smells good. And I forgot to mention our secret sauce. I'm gonna add a tablespoon of cognac. When you add cognac to sauces, it always tastes good. So tablespoon. We're gonna let the alcohol burn out. My heat is still at high. Heavy cream. Add our fresh thyme. Add our butter. This smells so good. Been about a minute on super high heat. I'm going to lower my heat to low. I have a tablespoon of cornstarch and 2 tablespoons of cold water. And I'm going to just mix it well and start drizzling it in. Oh, this smells so good. Whisk well. Our gravy's ready. And it's time to taste. And you just want to make sure it's not too salty or too bland. And saltiness, again, is very, very personal. So you should taste it and adjust it to your liking. So I'm gonna have a taste. Oh my God. This sauce is so decadent. It's not even gravy. It's like luxurious sauce. And the cognac, you can't even taste it. But it does add a subtle little something something in the background, which is so, so divine. Okay, so for me, it's a little too salty. I would like it a little bit less salty, but for some, this might be the perfect amount of saltiness. But for me, I would like it a little bit less salty. So I'm gonna add a 1/4 cup of chicken broth. And then I'm just gonna mix it. I'm gonna taste it again. Okay, now it's perfect. Now the saltiness is just the amount that I prefer in my sauces. So again, do the same thing at home. You might like it a little bit less saltier than I like it, or you might like it way saltier than I like it, and then just adjust the level of saltiness that makes you happy. That's good. It's been about good 15 minutes. Doesn't this look so beautiful? Look at that. You can see that the bacon has browned on the outside, and that's what we want. So now we're gonna put this back, lower our temperature to 350 degrees and cook it for another hour or until the interior temperature of this is 150 degrees. So depending on your oven, it might vary, so just keep an eye on it, and about an hour later, stick your thermometer and make sure it's 150 degrees and take it out. And also, when you do this, do not leave your oven door open for this long of a period, like what I'm doing, because I'm talking to you. So I have a fine mesh filter here and a bowl, and we're gonna take our sauce and pour it in here. This smells so good. I wish there was a way for you to smell this, because my kitchen smells really delicious. So I'm just being honest. Can't waste any of this delicious sauce. And I know some of you are saying, Helen, what about the drippings that will be on the bottom of the roasting pan? Because we have the bacon blanket wrapping a rollatini, that there's not going to be a lot of yummy drippings other than mostly bacon fat. So to filter that, to get just a little bit of the turkey dripping, just not going to be worth my effort. So, but instead I like to make my own gravy or sauce. So just take your fine mesh, squeeze down whatever is caught in the filter. Oh, this smells so good. I think I could just take this leftover right here. That's all shallots and bacon and our lovely fresh thyme. You could just put this on a toasted baguette again and just like eat it just together with a glass of dry Pinot Noir. That would be really good. Anyway, if you couldn't tell, I'm really hungry. But then again, I'm always hungry. That's why I enjoy cooking. So I just want to show you, look at that. Look how creamy and delicious our sauce looks. And it's not thick. I mean, for me, I prefer my sauces or gravies to be sort of on the runnier side. You can make this the day before. And again, you know, my whole thing with Thanksgiving is like, don't overload yourself. Like, even if whatever item that you're doing seems so simple, and it probably is, but in the moment of hosting or having to get out of the house by a certain time to make it to somebody else's house by a certain time, you know, why add more layers of things to do on the day of? So that's my thing. Like, if I could do it the day before, I'll try to do it the day before. And then the last thing to add is our beautiful chili threads, or GoChu in Korean. Just put it in here and it's all ready. Our beautiful sauce with a little bit of cognac and miso paste and soy sauce. This is gonna be a hit at your Thanksgiving party. All right, do you hear that sound? That's the sound of the bacon fat just like sizzling at the bottom of the pan. But look at our beautiful turkey rollatini wrapped up in this pretty cozy and delicious bacon blanket. Oh, this is gonna be so good. It is absolutely critical that you transfer this to a cutting board or a big platter and let it rest for 10 minutes. Do not cover it, do not touch it. You can look at it and sniff it, but do not do anything else other than that. It is very critical that we let it rest so that the juices retract internally, so that when we go to cut it and eat it, the meat itself is super moist. All right, it's been 10 minutes, so we are now officially ready to cut our turkey rollatini. So take your scissors. So we just finished cutting. Oh, it's so juicy. Look at this one piece. You see the kimchi and the leek and our juicy and tender turkey breasts surrounded by our bacon. Oh my God, this is gonna be so good. It smells so wonderful already. Look at our platter. Oh, this looks so delicious. I wish you could smell the freshness of the kimchi, kind of like steaming the aroma of our leeks and our bacon fat. Oh, so lovely. I have some parsley that I chopped up, and we're just gonna sprinkle it on top like so. Oh, yum. And I can't wait to get started on tasting this with you. Yum. Okay, here we go. Look at that piece. Does that look good or what? Oh boy. And here's our special gravy that we made. Look at that. Does that look good or what? And then cut ourselves a perfect bite. Oh, this looks so good. With some parsley, say ah. That bite was so decadent. The turkey breast meat is so juicy, but none of that gamey smell that typically, sometimes, most than not, that you get from turkey meat. And then the kimchi just adds this like refreshing, crunchy, and subtle taste of spiciness. And then the GoChuJang we added earlier, it doesn't even taste spicy, but you kind of taste it a little bit in the background. And then the leeks with the heavy cream just adds a little bit of that like salty and creamy taste. And then the parsley that we just added at the end, it's just a nice refreshing herb taste in your mouth. It literally is a party in my mouth. And then the sauce or the gravy that we made earlier, it just adds a layer of like a little bit of saltiness and creaminess and so much flavor. Oh, this is so yummy, so decadent. I hope you try this at home with your family and friends and have a wonderful Thanksgiving meal or just holiday meal. I hope you give this recipe a try because it really sure beats making a full turkey bird the day after Thanksgiving. You don't really have that big bird to now like, you know, do I take the meat off and save the bones to make stock, or do I chug it because I'm so tired? Anywho, this is my go-to when I'm hosting my Thanksgiving meal. I make it, and I also make a different version. I stuff it with some braised peaches together with stuffing and rolled up like this with bacon and fresh herbs. So good, so good. So if you want the recipe for the peach stuffing rollatini, make sure to check out modernpepper.com because I will list that recipe there as well. I hope you enjoy this kimchi gochujang turkey rollatini with your family and friends. And if you do, make sure to take a picture of it and post it on your social media and tag Modern Pepper. Now, before I go, I want to kindly ask you to press on that like button if you enjoyed watching this video. And also, if you would kindly subscribe to my channel by clicking on that pink button that you see here at the corner, because I would love to cook with you again. And I upload new videos every Thursday, and I love making classic Korean dishes as well as Korean fusion dishes too. So I hope to see you soon. And until then, have a joyous Thanksgiving season with your family and friends. And remember, next week we will be making Persimmons Soju cocktail. So subscribe so that we could make that cocktail together. So until next time, happy turkey time with your family and friends. Bye now.